here. Thank you very much, everyone, to attend this webinar. Just a very quickly introduction to ourselves. So my name is Jay Xue, CEO and founder of Roby, and along with Daniel, our growth marketing here. So we want to present it to you the Microsoft team training and also Roby, what Roby can help in terms of that. So the whole purpose is like this. It's a very tough time for every business right now, even for us as well. So we found like the best strategy for us is actually create that community that can help each other. So today, you don't have to be a Roby user or you don't have to be in the future Roby customer. We are here to help. We just purely for help, and then we're happy to provide any tech support. Over the past 4 weeks, we have saw our download increase like 3 times, and then we interview about 5 companies, figure out what's going on, and we found a very common problem is that companies right now forced to work remotely, and then you have to set up that remote working environment in such a short time. Is a very challenging task. So today we want to explain a little bit more like a basic, how do you set up your Microsoft team properly to make it more efficiently in this kind of environment. And so, yeah, so this is our whole purposes. We trying to help out, we're trying to create a community. Feel free to contact us. So all the tech support and all that is completely for free. We just want to contribute at this, very difficult timing. So if you have any question, during my presentation, please feel free to send the message in the chat, and Daniel will pick up and ask the question to me. So I'm gonna focus on the presentation, and she's gonna pick up your question, and then I can answer you as soon as possible. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's jump right into it. So this is like the challenge we have seen so far, majorly focused on 2 things. So, communication and collaboration. So communication means like, in the office, you can literally ask the question and then get the answer in a few seconds. And right now, you work from home, you're pretty isolated. Those kind of quick questions gotta take a long time, right? The other example is like collaboration. You guys can sit down to working on the same document. Right now, it's really difficult as well, especially using email back and forth, or even telephone call. So we see this as an opportunity for everyone to actually transfer your working style from email and phone call to Microsoft Teams, and then that will help you like really makes your life much easier. So yeah, let's jumping into the demo here. Before we start in doing that, so this is an interesting one. So company Roby, our company size 200 plus. That's in the future, not now. So now we're a small company, but 200 plus means like we have experienced about 1,000 company now, all the way from company only have 10 people to 20,000 people. So we actually have a quite good experience, like how people organize their corporate chat. So in this category, we want to present it to you about 200 plus. That's like pretty much the common ground we have seen people download Roby, and then we want to show you like how do you organize your Microsoft team properly, or how do you fully leverage the functionality of Microsoft team. And so here's a persona. So I will be the manager, and KJ will be our employee. So like, the interaction you will know, like, okay, who is from the management point of view, which one is from the employee point of view, okay? Right, okay, let's right into it. So this is the outline. I'm gonna show you right now is like how to set up the channel properly. That's the first step, okay? So if everyone can see my screen right now, so this is the Microsoft team setup. So before we get started, so Microsoft Teams have a 3-layer of hierarchy. So first one is company. And then under the company is called teams. So teams pretty much like your group. So, on the left side, you can see there's an IT group, there's office management group, there's customer service, engineering, that's a group. And then underneath groups, there's a channel, right? So each of the channel manage the different conversation. pretty much organize, what type of conversation you're using. So here's what we would suggest. So in these use cases is more like company about, 200 people, quite centralized. When I say centralized means like you probably only have 1 or 2 offices, right? This is one case. And I'm gonna show you like what is the other case when you have multiple offices, what you can do on this structure. But basically, you do want to have a company teams that include all the employees to make it easier to make any kind of announcement. So for example, I'm show you here the company channel that include all the employees. In a general channel, we can make announcements. So here I use a lot for the announcement about, coronavirus, and then what's the latest update. We have, Roby Day, you can take a day off, stuff like this. So make announcement here. And then the other one is we show in here is more like, random and fun. This is more like the one you share with some random information, keep the team bonding together, have a little fun here. And then last but not least, this is the one for the cross-department, cross-team communication, especially sending a request. So for example, I'm the sales team or I am the engineering team, I'm sending a request to the other team, or I'm asking for some general support. So this will be the channel you use for the cross-team collaboration purposes. And then later on, I'm going to show you, how do you make a request to Roby to make your life much easier. And the way we design like the channel is, this is a basic structure we usually use in each of the teams. So you can find like, the structure is pretty similar. So first of all, for example, for IT team, for example, general channel is usually used for discussion. And then we have this daily stand-up channel that's specifically very useful for the remote working environment. So you're using this to manage everybody's action item every day. And then once they're done, you just close it. So this is the way we're using that. And we found it really, really efficient. And the other one is more like the requests, from your customer. So in this case, IT, their customer is employee. So you do want to have a channel always tracking like certain requests need to be taken care of. And definitely you want to have the file sharing channel, like share the files, like people can take a look and then find, what I call the one-time use document really quickly. What does that mean? I'll explain a little bit later on. And also the fun stuff, of course, something random, something interesting inside of your team. So if you are the company have more than, I would say, 10,000 people, you have multiple offices. Here's what we usually saw like company manage their team. So instead of using the group, IT, office management, the second layer you usually use the site. So for example, here you will have like Seattle site, you're gonna have, New York site and all that instead of the team. So this is kind of, and underneath the site, you will group by the teams, actually, the group. So it will be IT team, supporting engineering team underneath that. So this is what we usually see, like, how company organize their Microsoft team. I saw there's a question. Let me check this. Oh, there's a permit. Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is like the basic, like how do you manage your channel, and then we're gonna jump in right into like how do you collaborate each other, especially working on one document together. So we found this, like if you can go to here and just click Word. So basically you don't need to open another software and all that. Everything stay on your browser. So that's another really cool part, right? So you can start like a blank document here. And I can choose the person I want to co-working with. So for example, in this case, I do want to share this document with KJ. And I'm just gonna send. So what happened will be, on the KJ side, so this is a KJ's account. When he open Outlook, he will find me share a document with him. So I can open a document right now. And then I start co-work with Jay right now. So this is, I can say something like that. This is the starting point, for example. And then we scroll back. You can see on my screen, Jay's screen, we can also see that. So you will be able to co-work with your colleague together on one document. And let's take, for example, say, okay, let's finish the document already. We want to share internally with our team. You can actually, so what you're gonna do is tap back, and then you can find your document here. It's automatically saved there in the OneDrive. So this is your OneDrive, but I would strongly suggest here is like a lot of documentation is a one-time use only. So the file sharing channel for me, usually I will share the one is only one-time use. So for example, meeting memo, or customer feedback, or like meeting notes, stuff like that, I'll post on the channel, and we probably just read it once and we never use it anymore. So I would create a folder specifically for that. That's my suggestion. So here's what you can share on your channel like this. You can pretty much like click this and then click share, and then copy the link, and then go back to your Microsoft team. And then, for example, I'm here is I can actually share this link with my team here. Say, hey, KJ, here is the document. And then just like that. So it's very nice, a simple way you can manage that. So usually, again, I suggest like the file sharing channel is usually for the one-time use documentation only. For other documentation is more important, like frequently being asked, I will put it in a folder, for example, like this. We're gonna see like, where is that reimbursement rule, vacation policy, and all that. I will store that separately. Okay, cool. So this is the way you can collaborate with your team on one document. So I want to jump into how does employee make a request. I guess that's most of people here are looking for the functionality here. So that's back to KJ's screen. Right. So when I first introduce you, there is one teams that will be include all the employees. So sometimes the request will be like this. You do want to encourage your employee post on the channel. The major reason is like their question or their request could be somebody else's question, right? And then so for example, this is a classic example. Say, hey, where can I find a work from home policy document, right? So this is a good example for that. The other good example is how can I find a vacation policy. So there's a two-way you can manage the request. One way is you using Roby, so which I'm going to show you later on. If you say I don't want to use Roby, what I would suggest is you create multiple channel. For example, you have the IT request channel, you have other request channel, and then tell your employee to post the request on the channel. But the major challenge for you or for most of the manager will be then you will have a lot of read message from each of the channel every day. So what we essentially do is I make your work much more efficient and easy for communication. So let's just jump in right into it. So for example, I asked, I'm KJ, so I'm asked the question like, okay, where can I find the work from home policy, for example? I ask again, and then post here. So just wait for a couple seconds. Roby will pop up a menu, say, hey, do you want to create this message as a request to the admin or not? or you know specific someone can solve the problem, or not necessarily the support team, could be anybody else. You can submit to someone, or you can directly submit to the admin team, right? So in this case, let's do the submit, and then let's say, okay, this is a very medium priority. I want to get it done by tomorrow noon, right? So you can like really nice and easy way to do it. And we do have the auto search, means like you can search for previous Q&A. So as an admin, every time you answer the question, you can actually store that question, store that answer. Next time, Roby would try to answer by itself, right? So in this case, that just submitted right away to show you how you manage that. Yep. So now is already send a request. So as the admin, so I'm the manager. I immediately will see from my chat on Roby, this is the ticket from KJ. So what you can do a lot of things. You can assign to other admins, or you can reply here, or you can check the message queue. So the most important part is like, you don't have to go back to the team to check on read every single time anymore. Especially, usually you will have tons of on read. You just need to focus on your chat, and then just type help, and that will pops out a menu, and then you just check view my open ticket, and that will show all the open ticket haven't been closed yet. So this is the one we just submit. So you can actually directly close this ticket or reply here, but that's, in this case, let's close it. And let's go back to our OneDrive. So here we go to our OneDrive. We found, you know, our work from home policies here. Just copy the link, you know, and copy it, and then go back. Yep. And then I'll just say, here you go. Right. And then we just click this, say next time, please answer it back directly. And then one click, and that's done. So as the manager, we usually recommend our customer, you just stay on a chat. So you manage all your conversation. You forgot, you know, where is your conversation at? You know, you can always click here to check what's going on. You can reply here as well. So you don't have to worry about to check in all the read, or sometimes you just forgot. On the other side for KJ, if some request is very personal, you don't really want to post on the channel, you can also submit the tickets through chat as well. So for example, you type help, and then you can make the request from here. And then you can say, okay, what is my employee ID, for example, right? So this will be something like private. You don't want people know that, so you can submit it right away. So that's the other way you can submit a ticket to manage that. So this is how like Roby works. Not only Roby can work internally. If you have a guest, have another Microsoft team, we can also connect it all together as a customer supporting app. So this is like the way you can manage your task. Okay, so other than that, want to introduce you. So this is the way we use in Roby, and we found that really interesting as well, is the daily stand-up. So especially in remote work environment, you do want to have a daily stand-up to really understand what's your team going on, how they do, you know, and what they are doing. And so for me, usually is every day, I will schedule a meeting for like just 15 to 30 minutes, and everybody on a call. And then I will be like, okay, KJ, so what are you going to do today? So I tag Roby first, and then I tag KJ later on. So here is the action item for this is today, April 6th, right? And then from there, you can actually type in any action item they are doing. So for example, ticket number, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know, and this will be the action item, and then you assign this to KJ. So KJ won't forget this. Set up the first priority, set up the deadlines today to make sure that it's ready, and then send it to KJ. So pretty much means like KJ and I agree this is action item we want to do. And then back to KJ's side, he can always check his action item here, so he doesn't forget. Do the open ticket here, right? So this is a very easy way to actually manage your remote situation. Yep. So this is from the ticket management and plus like daily stand-up. How can you use Roby, or without using Roby? To be honest, that's still doable. You can post on the channel, but the challenge will be like you gotta have a lot of message. It's hard to organize. So pretty much what Roby helps out is manage the message by yourself. And last but not least, I think people will be curious about the historical ticket. So you can also find a historical ticket from here. And by click here, and then you can see like all your historical ticket. And what we found like extremely useful from customer feedback is the search function. So you can basically search something like, okay, coffee machine, for example. So what happened to coffee machine all the time, right? Oh, what kinds of topic you want to find? So, and then a lot of time company use this table to measure the performance of their team. So for example, who is the resolver, how much time it takes, and then from there, and then they can have a discussion how to improve their services. So that's another big one we have seen so far. Okay, so I guess the last piece we're gonna show you is very quickly in 2 minutes. It's about like, you know, how do you book the meeting? Like, you know, what happened is you gotta write the email to 10 people to find a time slot and then schedule a meeting. And then by using Roby, you can actually make it very nice and simple. So you can click like this, just book the meeting. And then for example, team meetings, meeting notes is optional. So I select 2 people from here, duration 1 hour. And then you want to find like the whole week time slot, that's totally fine. And then from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. for 2:30 p.m. for example, and then 1 click. So what happened is Roby will automatically searching for availability, the time slot that available for 2 of us, and then we can just, you know, select one. And the next step will be finding the meeting room. But now, you know, there's no need for meeting room, so you can actually say create a meeting at, you know, open area. That means you don't specify the meeting room. Just click here, and then that's done. Roby will automatically send the invitation, you know, to the team, so you can check the email from your Outlook. All right. So basically, this is, I pretty much cover, you know, this is like the 4 use case we want to show you, like very basic. I totally understand if you are already familiar with Microsoft Teams, this might be a little bit too basic, but if not, like, you know, this is something, a good guideline to get started. And if you have a further, you know, question or support, if you even need a support, you know, specifically for your case, doesn't have to be related to Roby at all, please feel free to contact us. We actually provide a free support now. What we want to do, again, back to the first point I'm trying to make, we just trying to make a community that can help each other. So we are here to help, and we hope you guys can contact us. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the webinar today.